How are we doing today, folks? My name is Raven, and today we are looking at patch 1.4, or the patch notes to be exact. They showed these on Friday of last week, being June 4th. Today is June 9th. The patch came out on June 7th, so I have played quite a few games on this new patch. So we'll go into the patch notes. We'll talk about it a little bit. I can tell you right now off the top of my head, after playing for 2 days now, I do like the changes that they have done, and I think the game is in a little bit better of a fun back and forth fighting state now. It's not as just kind of one and done when you run up and assassinate someone, but we'll get into that. But I could say that it is an improvement on where we were at, on release or like even last week. So like I said, this came out on Monday, June 7th. We'll dive into these quick. I do want to also talk about this video that they released the same day they released the patch notes. This was on June 4th. We'll get into that. I'll discuss this a little bit more than the patch notes. This I'll kind of go over real quick briefly because I want to kind of talk about the video more. So, balancing. Assassinations can now be interrupted if damage to assassin exceeds a certain threshold. Read more here. Most basic attacks interrupted now. So basically now, if you get hit by any melee attack while you're assassinating someone, it will stop the animation. You will deal no damage or kill them, and the other player will be freed from the assassination animation. So that's pretty huge. Like I said, it's actually pretty good. A few team fights now where I've been able to stop an enemy killing one of my teammates, or I've been stopped in the process of trying to kill someone. It creates lengthier team fights and more exciting ones, more fun. Not just who can crouch behind who first and press E on a PC. So it's a lot better, I could say that from experience. Moving on to combat, players can now exit stagger stun more consistently through dodging and blocking to reduce situations where players would get stun locked. This one I haven't really experienced too hard much. I still feel like I get stun locked a lot, but I guess I need to play a little bit more to really feel this one. Most of the time I am playing Robin, so I'm not in melee combat too much, so I'm not too worried about getting stun locked, but there are days where I'll play John or Took or something, and it's a little different because they're melee, but I do feel I still get the stun lock, so that one I probably just haven't had enough experience with personally yet, so I might have to play that a little more. Matchmaking. Players on EGS can now invite players on Steam to their group. I actually don't know what that is off the top of my head. If someone can tell me, then feel free to tell me. After the end of match, players are moved back to the hideout but remain in their squads. This should reduce matchmaking times because before players were leaving the automatic queue in order to return to the hideout, which had a negative impact on queue times. That's interesting. I guess that's to do with whatever they are doing to run the matchmaking process. I know they've said that it's skill based, as in pretty much win-loss. If you have a lot of wins, you're going to go up with more people with a lot of wins, because technically they should be better. In a game like this, though, more controversy and stuff, we'll get to that, but is winning the game more important than getting more gold? Vice versa, stuff like that. So because you can, the whole win chain thing, you get all the way there, but then you don't get the last one. So technically you got more gold, but you still lost the game. It's kind of silly, but maybe they should change the name for it. Be like, you earn this gold, instead of just saying like win or victory or loss. So, and then also rank is no longer displayed in the lobby. Again, we'll get to that in the video part, but sure, that's fine. I really could care less about that, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's a relevant number, to be honest. It's like saying, it's like looking at a guy in Call of Duty, right? Oh, I'm prestige 10 and this guy hasn't prestige yet. Okay, well, he hasn't had to prestige to be really good at the game. Being prestige 10 just says you played the game a lot. As in, I'm a level 100. I play the game a lot, so it might not be the best. Winch. Improved ability to interact with winch when standing close to it. This I have noticed. There were a lot of times when I would come up to the winch and crouch, or I'm kind of crouched around it, and I couldn't just tap E to get on. I'd actually have to stand up. This I have now seen reduced, so now I can kind of slide up to the winch and then just kind of like latch onto it quick with E. So that's good. Added feedback layer for when an enemy team reaches a new wishing notch. I haven't really noticed a difference here, honestly. It's kind of the same sound. They put a new symbol at the top, but other than that, it's still kind of the same. They fixed some trophies, but if you already have it, you still can't get it apparently. Unfortunate. I guess they're still gonna try and fix that. Challenges, fix challenges that involve tagging. Voice chat fixed for Xbox, fix mute, whatever. UI fixed control appearing when trying to bind a key to right shift or alt. All right. Added missing home spawn icon on Citadel for both teams. Never really noticed that one. Tweak some text in the post-match screen for clarity. Fix the respawn timer, sometimes appearing blurred as if in the background. Yes, I did get that a lot, and that was slightly annoying, but I could care less, but I'm glad they fixed that. Other fixes. Fix the tag not being removed for enemy players when a Marianne used her ability after getting tagged by an AI. That sounds like a weird bug. Fix collision, pushing mechanics, forcing characters to rotate in certain instances. I feel like I experienced that a lot, if I'm being honest. There were a lot of times where I would try to crouch, move around in like a corner or against the wall, and it just wasn't working, so I'm glad that's fixed. Fixed the visual effect of gold coins falling out of the chest when it was dropped. This I have noticed only because, no, I don't think anyone really noticed for a while that when you did drop the chest as you were transporting, you actually lost gold, no matter what. This, you can actually see the gold coming out now, so good to know. Fix black screen returning to hideout for Xbox people. Great. That's awesome. Good for you. Now you don't have to worry about that, guys. Fix Took's weapon disappearing if he uses right ability right after climbing down a rope. Didn't experience that one, but again, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into these now, these points, because they bring it up in this video here. So I'm going to go here. I apologize. This might be a little bit of a longer video than I usually do, but I really like this game, and I want to see it succeed. So I think these things need to get said and brought up. So let's get into the video.
Hello and welcome back to Sumo Newcastle for another.
Oh, also, for whatever reason, the headset he's using, he's got really bad static in the background. So just, if you hear that, that's not me. That's the video.
The quick developer update. Update 1.4 should be due early next week. And I'm going to dive into a few of the changes which you can expect to see in this video. And rest assured, we're working on update 1.5 as well, which will be coming soon after that. So let's dive in. So first up, we've got a ton of matchmaking improvements, which should speed up the waiting time in the lobbies. And we're also removing the player's rank. Now, displaying the player rank was a bit of an oversight on our behalf, really, because it's not, this isn't how our matchmaking works. It's actually skill-based. It's not to do with your rank. The rank is...
Again, they're talking about how, or he's talking about how, again, it's not based on rank. It's based on skill. They have a skill-based matchmaking thing. Like I said, the numbers are relevant. You could have played the game for 100 hours and still be worse than the guy who's only played it for like 10. And that guy's level 20 or whatever.
It's more, a statement of how long you've been playing the game rather than anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
So we wanted to, remove that false perception that it has an effect on the outcome of a game. We see a lot of people coming up against 100 level players and it might be quite daunting. The reality is they could be using a different character for the first time. So I might be, level 100, but totally experienced with John. And now I've swapped to use someone like Robin. And it's like me starting again for the first time. So yeah, we're removing that to see how that works out.
I will say I agree with him because, again, I'm very good at Robin, I think at least, but I'm absolutely trash with Marianne. People make it look so easy. I can't. I don't know if it's because a lot of people have stopped playing the game lately, or we're actually getting more new people to play the game all of a sudden. But I am noticing that I am getting paired with a lot of noobs, and there's nothing really wrong with that, but it's happening a lot, so it's a little frustrating. Again, that might be just because I may have a high win rate on my account, and because they're a brand new account to the game, their win rate is technically 100%. So I don't know, but that's just a little side note.
We're going to start filtering players back into the hub, into the forest hideout after each match, because our data was showing that a lot of players were regularly quitting to go back to the hub to buy perks, to get cosmetics, and this was actually having a negative impact on our matchmaking queuing system. So we're hoping that these changes will improve, decrease more of those waiting times, and it'll also allow you to mess around with your cosmetics and also, just tool around in the lobby while you wait for the game to find you a match. Also,
why can this not be implemented into the pregame lobby? Think about how much time we sit there on the waiting screen for the match to start, waiting for people to file in. And you just think to yourself, man, I'm playing Robin, right? We're on Graveyard. Wow. Honestly, I don't want to use Bodkin Point. I don't want to use Long Shot. And I don't want to use Elemental Arrow. I'd rather use the melee perks and the Instant Explosion Arrow. Well, darn. You're stuck with that, or you're playing another character because you can't change your perks. this needs to be implemented into the pregame lobby. Forget sending people back to the hideout. If that, he's going to say that it improves, it's going to start to improve matchmaking now that they get sent to the hideout and then we go back into matchmaking. Fuck that. Just have the option, go back to the hideout like you did before, or continue with matchmaking. When you get into the next lobby, boom, make it there. Now I can change my cosmetics. I can change my perks. It just seems like such a simple idea. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head, but there's so many other games that probably just do this. Not probably, they do this. And just off the top of my head, I mean, look at League. League, you can change your runes in the Champ Select. You know, you could change your runes outside of Champ Select, sure. And you could change your skin too. But that you can do in the pregame lobby. You can't do this in Hood. That is something that needs to get done. And it's just such I don't know, I'm not a programmer or a coder, but it just seems like that is something that, how can that get overlooked? You know, don't send people back to, look at Call of Duty. You could keep getting queued into game, but you can change everything in your pregame lobby. There you go. There's another game. Do that, guys. Come on. I know you can.
So this could become really useful for when Mountain drops, because Mountain being a snow map, you know, you might want to swap out your camo for something a little bit more concealing in snow rather than forest greens.
Well, again, I don't know if I can do that unless there's a queue just for the Mountain map, because if there's not, then I'm going to run around as Elder Skin Robin the whole time, which, I mean, I do that anyway now, but I'm just going off the point he made to change to a winter-themed outfit for the map. You know, you don't know if you're going to get that map. Like, hence, am I going to get Graveyard next, or am I going to get Marshland? Two very opposite maps when I'm playing Robin. So, yeah.
So one of the next big changes is in how assassinations work, or rather how they can now be interrupted. So previously, when you assassinated an enemy player, you were kind of locked into this animation, and you know there was nothing anyone could do to save their teammate if they were being assassinated. Now you can knock someone who is in the middle of assassinating out of that by striking them, you know, with a hammer, with a mace, with an arrow. So you can effectively save your teammates. Now this is, you know, gone in there. We've done balance work on it. We're really happy with it, but get your hands on it and leave some comments, give us some feedback. We think it's in a good place, but obviously we'll continue to balance it based on your feedback. In addition to those, you should see there's tons of little
Yes, so I agree. Assassinations now are in a good spot. Team fights are more drawn out. They're more thoughtful. They're not just, like I said before, run up, crouch behind someone, first person to press E wins, you know? Now it's any melee attack. So Robin, Marianne, Took, John, anyone who hits you in a melee, you're boom, you're done with the animation. Marianne, you need to fire 2 to 3 bolts ish, depending on your range. Robin, I believe it's all the things I've read so far. It said it's any Robin arrow, so I don't even know if I have to charge it. But I actually haven't done that yet, so I still need to try that. But I assume maybe then I don't have to charge it that at all. So. But either way, this definitely changed up the dynamic of the game a little bit, and it makes it more exciting.
Bug fixes and UI improvements that have gone into update 1.4, and we'll release more detailed patch notes on the website. And so, looking further afield as we look to Mountain, we're still testing Mountain every day. We think it's in a really good place, and we think we're still on target for like a mid-June release. So that's exciting. And further afield, we are well underway testing the PvE game mode. So this is incredibly exciting.
Sorry, real quick. Yeah, Mountain, I'm very excited for a new map. I don't know why 5 maps is too little of maps for people, but to be honest, I think the 5 maps is fine. But people are complaining about, like, you know, they do kind of Lego brick, take this piece from that map, put it over here, rotate it a little bit, but that doesn't really bother me, honestly. I think the maps are kind of different for the most part. I mean, yeah, they feel the same, but I know I'm on a different map every time. But again, new map should be fun. It looks like it should use a little bit more unique elements to it. We will find out.
It's an entirely new game mode. This is the one that I chatted about
like the rope bridge right there.
Last time. That will offer progression and, you know, a financial incentive. You'll get gold from it, and
he said get gold from it. I'm sorry, guys. Again, listen, I saw someone yesterday. They have 270,000 gold in their hideout. I only have 60,000. Okay, 270,000. We have nothing to spend it on. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm not complaining about spending. I'm making a joke about, not having anything to spend it on, but cosmetics I could care less about. There's plenty in the game already. I just enjoy the game for the gameplay. Yes, I want other stuff to spend the gold on other than the perks that you buy and you own and all the outfits and the weapons, but it's I'm going to play PvE to get more gold. Come on.
XP. And it requires a far more measured and coordinated approach by your team. There's more of a focus on stealth, basically. And there's a few interesting mechanics that we're bringing in PvE, which we're kind of using as a bit of a test bed, which might end up in the hardcore mode when we do that. So the AI is far more dangerous. So if you're revealed, if you get that red line around you when the AI sees you, then they've got the ability to kind of one-shot kill you. So it really means you've got a deadly consequence for breaking stealth, and maybe it's not working as a team to, line up assassinations.
Okay, so this is a big topic. A lot of people like to run around and just run around like an animal when they play the game and alert all the guards and close all the portcullises, outline themselves in red, and they think that's the way to play the game. I don't think it is, and I think that there is a consequence for doing that because, again, you're outlined bright red and it's basically wall hacks. Like I mentioned in my Robin video, my Outlaws video. Some people say there needs to be more of an emphasis on stealth in this game. Although the devs said it even before the game came out that you could go in stealth or you could go in loud. If you go in stealth, it's great. I've done it before. You can go in, steal the key, unlock the vault. I've even gotten the chest out to an extraction point before that. I've even seen anyone on the other team. Now, 3 weeks in, that's probably a little different. You probably can't get away with that now. But people complain because now the guards, or not now, but the guards have not been doing quote unquote enough damage. So if you get revealed, they're kind of easy to take care of. Yeah, if you're melee, if you're Robin, not really, but if you're melee or Marianne, it's no big deal. So they think that guards should, my friends have even said this, and maybe guards should one-shot you if you get discovered. Pause. Sure, do that in the PvE game mode. I don't think it needs to be that extreme in the regular game mode, in the PvP, because, that's a little excessive if you're just going to get one shot. Now you have to worry about getting one shot by a guard and other players in a game mode where it shouldn't just be stealth, because then if you do that, you're just making it pure emphasis on stealth, and if you go out at all, you're not going to win the game, essentially, is what it would be if it was like that. But so I think it's an interesting mechanic, but for PvP, just make the guards do a little bit more damage. Because, again, if you are going in loud, you're going to be outlined in bright red. I don't think it's the way to play the game, but, more power to you if that's what you want to do.
We also have another system that we're bringing in, a new mechanic called, we're calling it talismans. The idea being that when a player is killed, a talisman will drop on the spot where they died, and it's up to their teammates then to run over, pick up that talisman, and take it to one of the capture points to then respawn them and get them back into the game. Again, it's a mechanic far more familiar to PvE mode in general. And again, it's another test bed. If this idea is really, really successful, this could be another cool mechanic that we decide to incorporate into hardcore mode as well.
I know he mentioned hardcore mode again here. I think he's talking about the PvE again, just like I think he's literally he's talking about the talisman thing for PvE. Then he mentions to incorporate into hardcore mode again. I think that's just another PvE term. But do not do this. You can't do this for PvP. If you think your game is bad enough right now with spawn camping. I mean, I literally saw a video of a guy sitting there with his buddy at the permanent spawn, just killing the other team over and over again. So many times that they quit and then they killed 4 more people. So technically they fought around 8 people. Yeah, you think it's bad now. You do this talisman thing. You're going to get 1 guy left on one team, 4 up on the other team. They're going to sit around all the talismans, and this guy's going to stand around and just quit because he can't do anything. He can't get his teammates up, and it's maybe if there's hardcore mode, if he's talking about, maybe if that comes to PvP, have everyone have a life, and they have a talisman, so if they die, then they can drop it and bring it back, but then that's their only other life. But I can't even see that. Now I'm talking about it, I can't even see that going well either, because if it just takes one team fight, right, and then they're all dead, so... yeah. Keep that in PvE, please.
The other big change is that winching will happen automatically. So you get to the extraction zone, you put down the chest, and that will automatically start winching itself. And then guards will turn up to add pressure on the extraction zone, so you can hide in the bushes and take the guards out. But they're not triggering lockdown unless they get to the chest. So it is still possible, if you're super stealthy and have really good planning, to do the perfect heist, to get in there, get the chest, and get out totally unseen without, attracting the attention of any of the guards or raising alarms. So in itself, PvE actually might give you a bit more hardcore experience, but also be a little bit more player friendly for those that just want to dive in for co-op action.
Okay, again, he says PvE and hardcore right there in the same sentence for the same mode. So yeah. A lot of people don't like the winch mechanic. I saw a lot of ideas thrown around on Reddit and stuff about how they could change it. Have a progress bar. Once the other team takes over, they got to get rid of that progress and start their own bar. Another idea I saw was like having 2 separate bars, but it doesn't make sense because there's only the one chest going up. A lot of different stuff. But starting the winch automatically and having going automatically, that is something I could get behind for PvP. So, because then that forces the team to actually push and to, and it'll end the game. If you have a toxic team that's just going to put the chest down and then just camp and not win the game, this could be a good counter because the game will have to end eventually. Now, for competing teams that are on it, I think it's neat, but then you would have to run up and at least get like a split second of winching done to turn it to your side. It's interesting. I think they can make it work for PvP, but for right now, the winching mechanic is what it is. I think it's fine. I just think, again, you need to change like either victory and loss to, how much gold did you earn? There's so much gold I earned or whatever. Because the win-loss thing, I think even that throws off people because they get so frustrated. Oh, I got all the checkpoints, but I didn't get the last one and lost the game. Well, you probably still got more gold in the end. So, but again, here we go talking about gold and how useless it is at this point in the game. So, yeah, but and again, with the PvE thing, yeah, if you want to live the fantasy of the game, you saw this game and you're like, oh, before I even knew it was PvP, I'm like, that's cool. I want to do that medieval heist kind of Robin Hood gang thing. Yeah, I'm sure the PvE game mode is going to be a lot of fun. Will I give it a try? I'll give it a try. I'll play a couple games. Depending on how much I like it, I might play it more, but I do like the base game as it is right now, minus the things here and there and the balancing and XYZ. But the game itself, in its entirety, I do like.
And in terms of further balancing and combat tuning, we're aware of the feedback here. We are working on significant improvements, including, targeting, hit registration, ability and perk improvements, and a lot more beside. And we're also looking into, expanding the community tool.
Oh God, I hope you know how OP Marianne is, man. I'm not gonna lie, when I looked at that first set of developer notes and they showed like the percentage win rates, I stopped for a second and I said, that kind of makes sense. But then I said, you're right, that does make sense because most of the time people are going to pick a balanced team. And well, what do you know? One of those characters is going to win and one of them is going to lose. And if all 4 of them are on one team and all 4 on the other team, well, that's a 50% win rate right there. So, yeah, I really, really hope they get to some character balancing within the next week or so, or at least when Mountain comes out, we see a Marianne nerf, because my goodness, dude, I get it, but it's kind of silly when you can play one character, have 4 of them, and still win the game, because you don't even have to take the chest from the vault to an extraction point, you just need to extract it. And honestly, with 4 Mariannes, it's kind of a joke because you can't hit them. Between the stamina, the extended dodge range, and I could do over half your health in one bolt to your head, and I have 9 of them, or 12 depending on the perk. Man, she's just, please, something. Buff John, Robin, give him some more useful perks for range, other than turning him into a melee brawler. I mean, come on, guys.
the community events. So, we're actually trying to put in like a proper structure for when we do these community events so that you can see the challenges in progress and the rewards, like the ones we did over the past couple of weeks with, steal so much gold from the state. We're trying to get the systems into the game so that it's a little bit more obvious when these are running and when you can get double XP, when you can get gold.
Double XP, going to be irrelevant for a lot of people. I'm level 10 on everything, level 100, level 10. So maybe for the newer players, if we can get any, sure. Or even returning players. But, come on. We had 2 community events with just gold as the reward. Again, this gold, man. Gold has turned into dirt. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter how much you have because everyone has it and they have a lot of it. So I'm less harping on the fact that I need a constant influx of new content to spend gold on. More the fact that I needed them to think about what they were going to do with this currency and how irrelevant it was going to become so quickly.
Those kind of things. And so looking a couple of months further down the line, work is well underway with Ada, who is our 5th character. So we are continuing to combat balance with her and her abilities and perks and what they bring to the battlefield, which is pretty cool.
Oh my god, he's giving me the eyebrow raised smile. You know she's going to be fucking broken like Marianne, right? I'm sure she is. She's melee, so we're going to see this melee character completely outclassed John and Took. I bet. Speaking of melee, complete side note, but it's part of balancing. If they want to make good changes to balancing, I think with melee characters, they need to turn light attacks into faster light attacks. The light attacks right now are so predictable and parryable. We need them to be faster, maybe deal less damage, but the fact that I can actually do them and hit the character and they can't just parry it or block it, I think that should be a good change. Because as of right now, there's really no way to open up someone unless you just spam heavy attacks. As Took, you could right click, break the guy's guard, he gets stunned, right click again. Yeah, you're out of stamina, but boom, you did a lot of damage to the guy. Kind of the same thing with John. You could right click, stun, break guard, right click again, do some damage. And then I think it's also silly with John because of that mechanic, and if you're just kind of in a 1v1 scenario, you ult with John. Like in my John Outlaws video, you could just sit there and spam your heavy attack. They can't really do much, and they die. I've been told you can parry those heavy attacks, like standing still heavy attacks. I'm going to be completely honest. I consider myself pretty good at parrying, but I have yet to parry that. I've blocked them, and I've taken the hit, got staggered, and lost the stamina, but I have yet to parry a heavy attack. Maybe I'm just bad. That could be a valid reason, but I haven't experienced that. So for the most part, that's why I don't even see why I should light attack half the time, and I only really just melee or heavy attack. So that's something I'd like to see get changed, but who knows?
We're hard at work with the Battle Pass content. Got some super cool cosmetics winging their way to you soon. I think it's August, September, around about that time we should be kicking off Season 1.
Okay, so he says August, September, we should be kicking off Season 1 with their Battle Pass, new cosmetics, XYZ. It's June 9th as of me recording this, and I personally can go a couple more months without new content because I like the game and I enjoy it and I'm having fun, even though I've maxed everything out. The game is still very much fun to me, and it is a lot of fun when I can get some buddies, but lately I have been playing solo. It's still pretty fun, but not as fun with friends. It's one of those games. But I know a lot of people are going to gripe about this. We still don't have new content. The new fun stuff isn't coming out for another couple months. I think overall, maybe the devs really just overlooked a lot of stuff before launch. A lot of the easy bug fixes that probably could have been done, or maybe like the earlier play test for people who pre-ordered the couple days that weekend. Then they could have done something when it fully released, quote unquote, to everyone. It seems like a lot of things were just kind of overlooked and are now being seen, but still not abruptly getting something done about them. Like balancing and I guess future content for the people who need that. So if the game was more balanced and I guess much more enjoyable to the general public, I'm sure a lot more people would be playing right now. I personally still don't have troubles getting into a game. I mean, maybe the longest I've waited so far in the past week has been like 10 minutes for a game. Other than that, I still don't have a problem finding a game. I mean, I'm sorry, but maybe it's just your region that you're in. I know one guy who says there's like 100 concurrent players. The last time I checked on Steam, at least for the US, it's like 240, or US East, whatever it is. And that's not even counting console players. And lately I've been playing with a lot more console than PC. So I guess just, I don't know. The people crave the content. It's this battle pass era of games right now. You know, we it's something we need. We need to be earning something constantly. We can't just play something and have fun. Oh, well, I said it. That's my opinion. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take it to heart. You don't have to agree with it, but there you go.
So yeah, lots of cool stuff on the horizon. So thanks again for all your support and feedback as we try to get this stuff out the door and in your hands as quickly as possible. We're not a large development team by industry standards. We're 60, not 600. So your patience and your loyalty in building this game really means...
I totally forgot he said that, honestly, at the end of this video. 6D, okay? Correct, they are not a AAA studio. They are 6D, 60 people. That's not a lot of people. I mean, the game I was working on when I was on the marketing team, it was maybe a little less than that. And they have quite a bit done, but they're also a startup. I don't think this is a startup company by any means. So this could, I mean, at this point, this might be a game that's going to turn into, I'm not going to say as crazy as No Man's Sky, where that was such a shitty launch and the following months and like year or whatever it was after. And then at this point now, it's become such a huge success. I think it might be a little bit sooner than that, or it might just become a For Honor, as I've stated before, that it had a high hype, high player base to start. I mean, its peak players on Steam, at least again for my area, was 8,900 when the game released. So it's at 200 now, by the way. So I think it may become a For Honor where you have a really dedicated community. A small one, but dedicated enough that the game hangs around for a while. For Honor's been around for 4 years now, or it might be almost 5, or they might be in 5. Actually, they are in 5 now, so halfway through 5. That might end up being what's happening here. But again, I'll keep playing this game until they shut the servers down, because it's honestly it's a lot of fun. When I first started playing it on that first weekend, it struck me different. I had so much fun. I was having too much fun with it, to be completely honest. So I hope that continues, but
it means a lot to us. So cheers, and I'll speak.
But yeah, guys, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is just give them some patience. Enjoy the game. Maybe there's just a lot of people out there still crying about content, and I need something to play for or whatever. But just enjoy the game, man. Play the game. So. If you guys have been around this long, it's a really long video, I know. First probably one of this, other than like the rant episodes, but this is like a solo, almost rant one. I appreciate you guys watching up until this point, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So, later.